Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the process of reorganizing my pantry right now. And look at this little gem I found. This is one of my first prepper items that I stored away. Now this was way back in a corner of my pantry, which brings up a great point. And this is a video that I got coming here in the future about organizing your pantry. So be on the lookout for that. However, I found this guy. Look, Best Buy date 2013. Let me see if I can actually show it to you. That way you know that I didn't just write it on there. So if you take a look at here, this says December 2013. That was the Best Buy date, which means that this was probably made at least a year prior to December of 2013, which makes this about 8 to 9 years old. Is this still good? I am pretty certain it is, because the only thing in this packet is pasta, and the flavor packet usually comes in a Mylar bag. Not a Mylar bag like we're used to seeing, that's silver on the outside and the inside, but usually those little Mylar bags that are white on the outside but do have a metal lining on the inside. So we're going to see if this is still good, and I'm going to cook it up with you all. In addition to that, I wanted to show you what pressure can ground beef looks like. I went ahead and did a batch of just regular ground beef with a little bit of salt in it, and that's it. About 3 days ago. And so you can see I don't even have it marked yet. But I wanted to show you what pressure canned, cold packed ground beef looks like. The ground beef that I put in here was raw when I put it in here and then pressure canned it. All right, just like the meatloaf, except that it doesn't have any seasoning except for a little bit of salt. So I wanted to show you what it looks like so that you can see the consistency of it. All right, that way you'll know whether you want to pressure can the raw pack method or the cold pack method, or if you want to cook it first and then pressure can it. I do have a video that I put out a while ago where I pressure canned some ground beef that I had cooked first. It gives it a different texture. This is going to come out more of a fine texture than ground beef that you would have hot packed or cooked first and then pressure canned it. So we're going to go ahead, get our water ready for this. This only takes 2 3/4 cups of water. All right, but first we have to get our ground beef in there and then put some water in there and then add everything in. Everyone here has probably made hamburger helper, right? This is the poison that you love to eat. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let me get a plate so that we can take this out so we can see what it looks like. Let's go ahead and open this up. And obviously it does have a seal. I just did it. Let's go ahead and put this in here. See if it comes out. Yep, it'll come out on its own. There you go. Nice. And like I said, I didn't add any extra water or beef stock or anything like that to this. And that's what it looks like. And it actually smells pretty darn good. Wow, it actually smells good. But here's the texture of it. Just so you can see what it looks like, what the texture comes out. See that? So when this breaks up in the pan, it's going to be a lot finer than what it would be if it had been pre-cooked before you pressure canned it. Let's go ahead and put this in the pan. Let's cook it up. And let's see if this is any good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and start our pot. We're going to put everything in here, even that little bit of juice that came out of it. Uh-oh, the dog and the cat are getting into it. They'll be all right. They need to determine who's boss. And I think this time around, the dog is the boss. Karma is the boss. So we'll go ahead and break this up. And all we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is just heat this up because it's already cooked. We're just going to break this up, heat it up, and as soon as it gets nice and hot and all the fat is dissolved and everything, we'll go ahead and add some water to it, the 2 3/4 cups of water that we need to add to it. And look at this. This actually came out, the texture came out a lot nicer than what I thought it would. I've never really pressure canned just hamburger, just ground beef. I've done it before, but I've done it the hot pack method where I cooked it first because I think the texture is better. But this looks really good. I'm pretty surprised. So let's go ahead and heat this up. As soon as this gets heated up really good, we're going to add some water to it. And then we're going to go ahead and add our hamburger helper. to it and see how it comes out. I'm actually pretty interested to see if it's still good after being about what, 8 years after the best by date? Yeah, it's 8 years, almost 8 years after the best by date. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to add the water. Now, I haven't cooked hamburger helper in a really long time, but the instructions do say to add 2 3/4 cups of water to the meat after the meat is done. And then after you add your water, and they want the water to be hot. So I went ahead and microwaved this water, this 2 3/4 cups, for about 3 minutes. We'll put it in there nice and slow. We're going to go ahead and cover it for a little bit so that that water can come to a full boil. And here is the pack, and there is the date. I want to make sure that you see that I'm actually using the pack that I showed you, because it wouldn't be any fun if I was cheating, ladies and gentlemen. That would be wrong. And let's see what... Oh, look at that. Everything looks good. Here's the macaroni. I mean, look, ladies and gentlemen, this is 9 years plus old. This is 9 or more years old. It looks just fine. It wasn't packaged for long term, right? But the package is still sealed, so no air was coming in or out of it. And let's take a look at the flavor packet. Oh, I was wrong. The flavor packet does not come in a Mylar bag. It just comes in a regular plastic bag. But let's see. It still does have a seal also. No air in or out of it. So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm going to smell it real quick, see what this smells like. I'm pretty certain that the macaronis are pretty good, but I want to see what this smells like. And here's what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. And it smells just fine. I mean, I'm really happy that this is so far so good. We haven't eaten it yet, all right? But it smells just fine. If you're watching this video, it's because I did not get sick from this. So now we're going to go ahead and add our flavor packet. We're going to stir that around a little bit to incorporate the flavor packet into the water. And then once we have this incorporated, let me go ahead and put this on high again. I put it on low. That way it wouldn't be splashing around when I'm trying to talk to you all with the camera right in front of it. Let's go ahead and mix this around a little bit until everything's incorporated. And ladies and gentlemen, I know what a lot of people are going to say. Hamburger helpers, poison. I understand that some people have that view to it. And I would have to agree that it's probably not the best thing that you can get. However, we have to think about those that cannot afford to prep. Let me call it the fancy things, right? So if you run across a sale, like I did when I bought those a long time ago, it's all right to get it, as long as you know that you will eat it. Now, I know that I've eaten a lot of hamburger helper in my life, and I'm still here. And I know that if it comes to worst case scenario, that I would have absolutely no problem eating this hamburger helper. So now let's go ahead and put our macaroni in there. All right, now the instructions say to bring this to a boil, stir it around, and then cover it and simmer for 10 minutes. So let me go ahead and cover it. I'm going to bring the heat down until it's just a simmer. And then we'll be back in about 10-12 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and see what it tastes like. All right, it's been about 12 minutes. Let's see what it looks like. And look at that. It looks like the noodles are all cooked already. To tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, this looks pretty good. Now, for those of you that are watching this video maybe for the first time ever, and you've just happened to come across this video, this is really not my style. I like cooking from scratch. Oh, just a second. I like cooking from scratch, but I'm doing this so that I can show those of you that maybe have things like this in your pantry that are well past their best by date, that it's still good to eat. I've talked to a lot of people in the past that have just thrown away a whole bunch of food that they had just because they were past their best by date by only a month or so, and they throw them away. I actually know someone that if something's one day past their best by date, they won't eat it. They'll throw it out. And that is such a waste. However, it's up to you what you do, ladies and gentlemen. Do your own research. I like to do my research by tasting it, just like we're doing today. So let's go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to go ahead and get a plate ready. I'm going to show you what it looks like on a plate. And then I'm going to try it. Let you all know what it tastes like. Alrighty. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. That actually looks pretty good. Let me get this box out of the way. See if I can give you all a close-up. That actually looks pretty decent. And it smells pretty good as well. But the taste is in the pudding. First, I want to taste just the macaroni. Alright? To see what the texture is like. And that is actually pretty darn good. The texture of the macaroni is just like any pasta is supposed to be. I don't really like my macaroni or my pasta al dente. I like it pretty well cooked, but it still has some texture to it. You see, it doesn't fall apart. You can actually cut it. See that? You can actually cut it and it doesn't fall apart. See, if you squeeze it, it still regains its shape. So pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and give a nice heaping spoonful here. Look at all that meat on there. I mean, this actually looks really good. And that little bit of macaroni I had actually tasted pretty good. So I'm excited to taste the rest of it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you what to do. There's absolutely, positively nothing wrong with that. This actually tastes pretty darn good. The ground beef, the way it I don't know what it is about pressure canning. I just think that it makes the meat taste so much better. Don't know why, because all I did was add salt to that ground beef. That's it. I cold packed it before I pressure canned it. I just put the ground beef raw in the jar, put a little bit of salt in there. That's it. But this tastes great. This is something that I would definitely have no problem stocking up on again, even though I don't eat it on a regular basis. We don't eat mac and cheese here. I mean, not mac and cheese, but hamburger helper here on a regular basis. I got these, I remember, long time ago, before I even got to Alaska, when I first started prepping. And here it is, 9 years later, 9 years after the packaging date of this, and it's still absolutely fine. So, what do I have to say about this? Don't throw away your stuff. Give it a try. Do your research, ladies and gentlemen. Do your research. Don't throw away food just because it's past the best buy date. Most foods will last years past the best buy date, and this right here is proof. All right, ladies and gentlemen, short video today. I just wanted to show you this. I had absolutely no idea how it was going to come out, but I'm very happy that I did try it instead of throwing it away, because now I know that the rest of the hamburger helpers I have that are dated 2016, 2017, that those are really, really good, and they still have years to go before I even think about getting rid of them or consuming them, just so that they don't get any older. Having said that, remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Last Prepper. I am out.